Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mary. Today I have with me Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is going to talk about the habit of persistence and, importantly, an amazing story about how he developed this concept and his own personal story on persistence. So let's get started. Welcome to Positive Life Answers, Dr. Mike.
Hey, hi, Dr. Mary. Delighted to be here with you and also all the listeners.
Great. Dr. Michael Mercer, as I call him, Dr. Mike, he's my co-author of Spontaneous Optimism and other books. He's the co-creator of our website and self-improvement programs called Positive Life Answers. Dr. Mercer has a brand new book coming out in March called Success Habits Made Easy, Proven Actions to Make You a Superstar in Your Personal Life and Career. And that's available for pre-order now. If you like reading ebooks, are available right now for you. So what we're going to get into today, one of the topics that Dr. Mercer covers, or Dr. Mike covers, and that's the topic of persistence. And it's important, as we call this show, the value of persistence in your life. Dr. Mike, welcome. And so what are some of the topics generally that you're covering in Success Habits?
So, some of the topics, not all, but some of the topics are how to be happier, more optimistic and upbeat and positive, make a great lifestyle for yourself, how to set goals for your career and also your personal life and actually achieve goals, how to persist, and we're going to delve into persistence more today and with some important techniques there that superstars use, and quite a few other topics, and also how to get rid of your bad habits. It's one thing to talk about good habits. We're talking about good habits, also getting rid of your bad habits.
Thanks. And that's just a quick overview of some of the topic areas, and there's a lot more, trust me on that. But today we're going to focus on one key area, and that's the value of persistence in your life. Dr. Mercer has a couple of ideas here, and one of them is, where persistence is important in your life, and his own personal story. So Dr. Mike, tell us about what you mean by persistence in different areas of your life.
You got to keep plugging away, keep stick-to-itiveness, you might say, I like the word persistence or stick-to-itiveness. And this is real important. This is an important area to make improvements in your life. Now, real importantly, we're going to give readers a tip you can start using literally instantly. Stop using the word change. Start using the word improvement. Stop using the word change. Instead, use the word improvement. So people say, I want to change my life. Well, that could be changing it for the worse or the better. Instead, what you really probably mean is you want to improve your life. One of the techniques to improve your life is being more persistent, using more stick-to-itiveness in the important areas of your life.
And what areas are you looking at, Dr. Mike?
Quite a few areas. There's relationships, love relationships, friendship, work relationships, happiness, being upbeat, positive, happy, feeling great emotionally, your lifestyle, also improving in terms of your physical fitness and health also. Your reputation, you want a great reputation. That's something, if you're persistent, you can make a better and better reputation for your personal life and also your career. Emotional, that's important. You want to persist to be emotionally feel good. And also you want to persist to do well in your career and other activities you do.
Great. And if you haven't listened to the last episode, Dr. Mike and I talked about one simple key habit that you can do every day that take you less than 30 seconds to do. And that's the topic and the habit of sharing or shedding grace on people. If you haven't heard that episode, give it a listen to. We may or may not touch upon it right now because we're going to talk more about persistence. And Dr. Mike has his story about how he learned about persistence and a major obstacle he had in his life when studying to become a doctor of psychology.
To get a PhD, you have to do what they call a doctoral dissertation. It's a huge, monstrous research project. When it's written up, it's usually like 100 to 200 pages. So that's called a doctoral dissertation. And usually people take a year to 2 years to do that. So in terms of doing my dissertation, I went to graduate school. I did real well. I did a lot of things. I got a lot of attention for the professors. I did research there. I did presentations at at professional conferences, much more than the professors and the other students. I got on committees, so I worked to make the doctoral program even better by being on committees with faculty members and students. I did all sorts of things to do well. Lo and behold, I actually got accepted from the master's degree program into the doctoral degree program, which was very unusual. Usually people at my university, they usually selected PhD doctoral students who had not gone through the master's program in their university. So I did that. I accomplished all those things. And then I was working on my dissertation, and I thought I was doing well on it. And all of a sudden, all heck broke loose.
What do you mean by that, Dr. Mike?
I was working on my doctoral dissertation, doing great research. What happened is when I was a graduate student, let me give a crumb of background.
Yes.
I gave a lot of presentations at professional conferences, more than any other student in my program. What happened reminds me of a story that Woodrow Wilson told. Woodrow Wilson, before he became president of the United States, he was president of Princeton University. And he has a story that somebody came from another country, a professor, and visited his university, Princeton. And after a day or two of talking to a lot of faculty, said that visiting professor said, Dr. Wilson, you really should do something. Your faculty members keep attacking each other and giving each other a hard time. And Woodrow Wilson said to that visiting professor, you don't understand, the stakes are so small. People don't realize that they should not do that. They just make a ruckus out of things. That impressed me, that people make a problem where there doesn't have to be a problem. You got to focus on solutions, not problems.
I never knew that story. So how did that influence you in moving on in your life?
Well, what happened is in my doctoral program, there were some changes in the program in the department. For example, the chairman of the department, who loved me and was going to recommend me to become a professor at other universities, he took a real big shot position at a different university.
Oops.
The director of my PhD program left, and I was his graduate teaching assistant. Oh my gosh!
And his star pupil.
Yeah,
sounds like to me.
I was a star pupil. Yeah. So there I had some big losses. And so as I was working on my dissertation, I said to one of the members of my dissertation committee, one of the faculty members, I went over part of it with him. He told me some changes, improvements he wanted me to make. I said, great, they'll take me. I can do it in a week. Let's meet in a week to talk about it. And he looked me in the eye and gave a very angry look, and he said, no, I can't talk to you about your dissertation for 6 months.
What?
And I said, no, it's okay, don't worry. I can make the changes you recommended, the improvements. I can make them within a week. Let's make an appointment to talk in a week. He said, no, I'm not going to talk to you for 6 months about your dissertation. And I said, yeah, but I just want to make an appointment to do it. He said, I don't have any time to talk to you for 6 months. So I said to him, well, on your office door, you list office hours. And when I go by your office during office hours, a lot of times you don't have anybody in there. You have plenty of time. Like to meet with you, let's say in a week or so. He said, no, listen carefully. I refuse to meet with you for 6 months.
Yeah, that's to me, sounds so unprofessional. I've never encountered that.
Yeah, and he gave me a real hard time. It ended up with, I won't go into all the details.
Yes.
It took me 3 extra years to finish my doctoral dissertation and earn my PhD. That was totally unnecessary for me to have to spend 3 extra years of my life. Well, I really wondered, maybe I should drop out the doctoral program. Maybe I should go do something else. Maybe I should go get an MBA or other degree or something, or focus on a different career. But I really wanted this, so I kept persisting, I kept plugging away, and it was upsetting, but I thought I really wanted to earn my PhD in psychology so I could work in clinical psychology and also business, industrial psychology.
How did you keep yourself encouraged, and how did you get into this mindset of persistence here when everything seemed to be against you?
Yeah, it was horrible odds. I'll tell you, and a lot of people said to me they couldn't get over how some of the faculty members who had to approve my dissertation were giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, well, I really want to earn my PhD in this program.
Okay.
I started. I did great. I was the head of my PhD program, had me as his teaching assistant until he left. The chairman of the department loved me and was going to recommend that I be given faculty jobs at other good universities.
Right.
When I finished my PhD, I did all those good things, and here I had these roadblocks thrown in my face. I kept saying to myself, this is what I want to do with my life, my career, my way to earn money, my way to make a reputation for myself. I got to finish it. I also thought that to some degree, although it was difficult, this is important for me personally to persist, to stick-to-itiveness, and keep plugging away. I really wanted to make a good life with a PhD in this field, make myself a good reputation in the field.
I think that's a great example. You had a vision for your life, and even though there were obstacles, you kept your eyes and your heart on your vision for your life. That was one thing you did. And then what kept you going to finish after that time?
I was upset at various points. I kept saying to myself, I just have to keep plugging away. If I keep plugging away, if I keep persisting, if I stick to it, I'll succeed. And then get into the career, get the academic degree, PhD, in the career that I really wanted to get into. And start working in companies and organizations I wanted to work in. So I had to do that. I didn't want to start over again either, anyplace else. I thought I will persist and do it here. I could have gone to a different occupation, another program, but I really wanted to do this. So I figured I'd stick to it. Now, interestingly, at my doctoral dissertation, what they call dissertation orals, you have to defend your dissertation in front of all the faculty members on your dissertation committee. At my dissertation orals, something really interesting happened. When you finish a PhD dissertation, you have to defend it in front of all the faculty members who are on your dissertation committee. So at my dissertation orals, I did a great job. I had it written up great. I did great there. They voted to approve it, so I would earn my PhD.
Okay.
And interestingly, at the end of the orals, the professor who said to me he refused to meet with me for 6 months, and he's the one who made it take 3 extra years. He walked up to me, he smiled, and he said, "Yours is the very, very best PhD doctoral dissertation I have ever seen, ever. I would like you to print a paper copy of it so I could have it bound and show all my students what a good dissertation is, what an excellent dissertation is." He gave me such a big compliment. He said, "Mike, would you please print a paper copy of it so I can have it bound?"
So he asked you for a copy of your dissertation and gave you that big compliment. So you really broke through whatever his issues were, anger, whatever that was kind of thrown on you, because you stayed with your heart's desire and your vision for your life.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. It's a great story. So he asked you for a copy of your dissertation to show as a role model for other students, and he gave you a compliment about your persistence. Whether you like that story or not, you showed him through your own persistence that things aren't going to hold you down, and you're going to follow your heart's desire, and you really broke through his barriers. So tell us then, what's the best way people can increase their persistence, and what other morals of the story you have from this story of your life?
Yeah, let me go into that because it's important. A few years later, I received a phone call from one of the faculty members in the department.
Oh, yes, okay.
And he said to me, all the faculty had an all-faculty meeting in the department, and they were talking about the topic of persistence and perseverance. And the faculty said, which doctoral student have we had who showed the most persistent or perseverance?
Okay.
And the faculty voted, 100% of the faculty in the department voted that the student they've met who had more persistence than anybody else was me. And
that's amazing.
I'll tell you, he called me up and I thought, holy mackerel, I did it. And it actually was recognized by the other faculty members.
That's great. What a reward.
Yes,
but even if they didn't, you knew you did it. But it's great to be recognized and to resolve whatever atmosphere was going on in that department. You really touched them through. Congratulations on that, Dr. Mike. So what advice do you have for the listeners that aren't really a persistent type of person or don't keep plugging away as you talk about?
Well, say to yourself, here's an important goal that I have in my life. It could be in one area, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas of your life. And then you say to yourself, what big, important, ultra special goals do I have? And what obstacles do I need to go over, under, around, or through in order to achieve that wonderful goal?
That's great.
And if you keep persisting on actions, you eventually will succeed, or can succeed at least. If you stop, if you don't persist, you're not going to succeed. So keep plugging away. That's the only option where you could end up on top.
And remember, you can succeed by going through obstacles. I had in my Victoria story, if you haven't heard it, it's in the last couple episodes. I went through a lot of obstacles in my life, but I didn't give up. I had that heart's desire and dream and vision for my life. So get in touch with whatever that is that lights your fire in different areas of your life, as Dr. Mike will explain.
Yeah, I have an idea to help all the listeners so that you can start using this. Say to yourself, where do you want to achieve more?
Okay.
And what do you need to persist on to achieve more? I'll give you some examples. What do you want to to achieve more in your relationships? It could be love relationships, friendships, work relationships. Where do you want to be happier? What do you need to do to persist more, to be happier in your life? How about your lifestyle, how you live day to day, how you live your life, your lifestyle? What do you want to improve there? Your physical fitness and health, that's super important, of course. How do you want to change your physical fitness level, your appearance, your health? And what do you need to persist on there in order to improve your physical fitness and health? Also, your reputation. What sort of reputation do you want personally and also in terms of your work? Emotional. What do you want to be like emotionally? How do you want to feel? And what do you need to persist on in order to achieve the emotional life that you want to have? So say to yourself, what do you want to achieve? Where if you're more persistent, you could do it. Remember, you got to go over, under, around, and through any obstacles thrown in your path. Or as I like to say, fight the competition until hell freezes over. And then after that, fight them on the ice.
Oh, I love that. That's a great quote, Dr. Mike. And if anybody remembers anything from this podcast interview with you today, that quote says it all. Could you repeat it one more time for the listeners?
Yeah. Fight the competition until hell freezes over. And then after that, fight them on the ice.
And we're going to leave you with that quote today. And I know some of you are thinking ahead. Persistence is an important key area to think about right now. So you're going to take it a step at a time. Dr. Mercer is going to be back in the next episodes with some more specifics of what to do. Next episode, we're going to talk about optimism, which is part of persistence, because persistence is one of the key traits of optimistic people. And March is Optimism Month, which is also the book released for Dr. Mercer's Success Habits Made Easy. So we're going to be covering with Dr. Mercer all these topics and areas. So please stay tuned. And thank you, Dr. Mike. I look forward to talking with you next time.
Great. Thank you very much. Looking forward to helping people. And I'm going to be delighted to hear of some of the success stories people have using these techniques.
Please email us your questions and comments at Dr. Mercer at Positive Life Answers. That's DrMercer at positivelifeanswers.com. And you can go to positivelifeanswers.com and hit that tab that says Success Habits Made Easy, and you can get more information about Dr. Mercer's book and ways to contact us. So we look forward to hearing from you, and we do hear you. We will be talking with you next time.
Look forward to helping all of you again.
And please stay tuned for more. See you next time. A note to my listeners, this podcast aims to provide useful information to my listeners. It's published with the understanding that your host, Dr. Mary Mercer, is not engaged in rendering professional services, counseling, or therapy. Through the contents of this podcast, if you need professional services are to be sought by the listener, such as counseling and psychotherapy. The listener is responsible for seeking them. So contact your local psychological association. They're very helpful in giving you a local referral. Or contact your medical doctor for a referral. It's easy as that. So please stay tuned for more. I can barely wait to take the next steps with you. Thank you for listening. Positively, Dr. Mary.